Your name tag on your uniform says Johnson, so I presume you are Mr. Johnson. Now, sir, if you could get right in front of that microphone, thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can. Sir,
Yes.
you're charged in count one with speeding 82 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. That is a traffic infraction. It is not a charge that carries any jail time. It has a scheduled fine. 82 and a 65 is $87, but then there's also 108 court costs. In count two, you're accused of operating your motor vehicle without proof of insurance. Now, if you had insurance but just couldn't find it, you can get the proof to the county attorney and she'll probably dismiss that charge. If in fact it had lapsed or something was happening so that you didn't have insurance on the vehicle at the time being January 4th, 2024, that is a B misdemeanor. The maximum penalties as far as jail time would be 6 months, although probation is usually granted. There is a mandatory minimum fine the court must impose of $300, but it could be as high as $1,000. You do have the right to hire any attorney of your choice. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed. You can waive your right to counsel and represent yourself. Another option, you might be able to apply for diversion. That is where you apply, and if the county attorney approves you for diversion, you would pay agreed upon fines, costs, get your insurance current, and pay a diversion fee, and she'd dismiss the charges and keep them off your record. If you want to talk about diversion or anything else with your attorney, you certainly will have the opportunity to do that. Your pleas, you have a choice of pleas. You can plead not guilty and we can set this for trial at a later date. You can plead guilty, admitting the charge, and we would proceed with sentencing. Or you could plead no contest, which is neither admitting nor denying the charges, but you'd still most likely be found guilty and we'd proceed to sentencing. If you want to look into diversion, we'll enter a not guilty plea to give you time to do that. You can always change your plea, but once you're convicted, pre-trial diversion is off the table. So
probably not eligible for diversion based on his driving record.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to talk to an attorney then and discuss whether or not you have a defense? Or?
No, Your Honor, I would like to request a declaratory judgment due to there is no agreement for my performance under any agreement or commission of this court.
Well, I don't need an agreement from you, sir. So if I were...
Well, Your Honor, I simply do not understand the nature and cause of the accusation with regard to the jurisdiction of the venue and nature of this action until the prosecutor properly alleges them there. I cannot enter a plea to the charge until I have the opportunity to raise a meaningful defense on my behalf.
All right, I will then, since you cannot enter a plea today, I will enter a not guilty plea for you and give you time.
I object, Your Honor. I object to you entering a plea to me because I must understand the nature and cause of these accusations. So I do not agree to you entering a plea on my behalf.
Well, your position is taken and I'm still going to do it. I will note your objection for the record, but I'm going to enter a not guilty plea.
Well,
now,
I object to you entering a plea on my behalf.
Your objection is noted, and if the time comes, you can appeal that to the Court of Appeals. Now, on the issue of
Your
attorney,
Honor, I would like to ask, who bring these charges against me? I should have the right to question.
all right, we're not going to have this debate right now. I've told you your charges. I've told you the state of Kansas has filed those through its attorney, Jill Gillette. Now,
Well, I would like to call the state to the I would like to call the state to the stand, Your Honor.
We're
The
not doing that,
state bringing
Tim.
charges against me. Who's it? How did I injure the state?
All right, this is your first appearance. I advise you of your rights. I advise you of your charges and possible
Your Honor,
penalties.
I object to the proceeding, for I do not know the nature and cause of the
I'm
proceeding.
entering a not guilty plea. Missy, when is
I
the
object to you entering I object to you entering a plea on my behalf. I do not grant you that right.
Missy?
The court date,
You're supposed to act as a trustee.
Sir, you
Now,
need to stop. You're being in contempt of court. You need to stop or I'll have the officer assist you in stopping. Missy?
well, Your Honor, I would like to also bring to you
September
according to USC 12203.
Deputy Miles.
And also
could you,
Article 3, the judge must
just
operate in good
moment?
faith and good behavior. So therefore, if you're making a threat towards me, then
Deputy,
that's
if he's going to
urgent of
keep
me to
being
perform in your
contentious, I'm going to
court.
have you take him into custody on contempt.
Then that would be illegal search and seizures, Your
No,
Honor.
wouldn't you need to go back?
It will.
All right,
That's
Missy.
false
I
imprisonment.
want you to stop talking or you can go upstairs to the county jail. Now, do you want to go to jail tonight?
Your Honor, again, Title
Deputy
4,
Miles, could you come in and
USC.
assist the defendant?
September 27th at 9 o'clock will be the court date.
September 27th, you said 9 o'clock?
Yes.
9 a.m. You must be back here, sir, in person at the courthouse, or you will be arrested for failure to come to court.
Your Honor.
Now, that deputy there is going to take you into custody if you cannot control yourself through the remainder of this hearing.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just enforcing my right, Your Honor.
All right, so your first right is to have a hearing date, and that is September 27th, 9 a.m. The
Your
second
Honor, I
right,
also have a right to understand the nation's cause of this. I have a right to understand the
all
nation's
right. If
cause.
you don't want to listen to me, you can go to jail. Do you want to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
No, I do not. I don't need to hire an attorney, Your Honor.
You want to represent yourself?
I don't need to hire an attorney. I would like for you as the judge, Your Honor, to explain to me the nature and cause of the.
All right, I'm not going to appoint an attorney if you don't want me to. If you want, you said you don't want to hire an attorney. If you want to apply for court appointed, the officers have forms there that you can fill out. If
I
you
just
don't
want to
fill them
understand the
out,
nature
I'm
and
going-
cause.
If you don't want to fill one out, I'm going to assume you don't want an attorney. And then if you come to court September 27th at 9 a.m., you're going to be representing yourself if you don't hire or apply for court appointed. And so you've got the third issue, does he have a bond? Looks like you do because you failed to appear February 27th at your first appearance. So bench warrant was issued, bond was set at 1,000 cash for professional surety. Looks like that was posted. Looks like you made a cash bond of $1,000. Does that sound right? You put up 1,000 cash back in July 12th?
I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of this allegation, Your Honor.
I will continue your bond unless you get yourself hauled into jail on contempt before you leave. I will continue your bond with the condition that you reappear here in person at September 27th at 9 a.m. So you've got your court date, you've got your bond, and we've talked about your lawyer. Now, you're wearing a U.S. Army uniform with the name Johnson on it. Are you in or have you been in the United States military?
Your Honor, I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of the allegation, Your Honor.
All right. If you can leave the courthouse now without any further disruption, I will let you do so. But I'm going to have those officers escort you to make sure you do so. So,
Would you,
Ms.
do
Ms.
you?
Gillette, anything further?
Your Honor,
Nothing.
it is your oath to explain the nature and cause of the allegation against me. Are you failing to do that?
All
for the
right, you can either walk out the front door with the officers, or you can walk upstairs to the county jail with the officers. The choice is yours. Either leave
Your Honor, I'm trying
peacefully
to
or leave
understand.
disruptively.
I'm
Well,
not
that's
being
why an
disruptive. I'm
attorney
just
can
trying to
help.
understand the nature and cause of the
All right,
charges.
officers, I'm gonna close
What
it.
am I doing? I'm sitting here trying to understand the
If
charge.
he gives any more grief,
All I'm asking is to understand the charges. This is
I've
for
told
the
you the
record. You said it's for the
charges.
record, so I'm trying to understand what am I
I've
being
told you
charged?
the charges. Goodbye, sir.
I just want to understand the nature and cause of the charges, Your Honor. That's all I ask. It is your
I've
oath
gone
to
over
do
those
that.
with you. If you tell me what kind of questions you have, I'll be happy to answer them, but I've already told you.
Okay, under what jurisdiction is these charges being brought to me under?
The state of Kansas has charged you with speeding 82 and a 65 and operating in a motor vehicle without liability insurance on January 4th, 2024 in Greenwood County, Kansas. You failed to appear for your first appearance, and a bench warrant was issued, and you were arrested, and you made a bond of 1,000 cash or surety, posting a cash bond. Now you have to go to court, and you have to answer those charges. You can
Your Honor, I
have
know.
a trial if you like, and the burden will be on the state of Kansas to either prove or disprove. If they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, you're let go.
Well, I'm still trying to understand under what jurisdiction am I being charged under, Your Honor? That's all I'm trying to understand.
You're being charged under the jurisdiction of the state of Kansas under its criminal.
But according to the Constitution, there are only two
All right,
jurisdictions.
we'll have that on a later date. We'll be at recess, officers. Please escort him one way or the other, depending on his behavior.
But I'm still not understanding what you're charging me with.
Goodbye. We are adjourned.
But if she's the judge, I'm supposed to have clear and concise of what I'm being charged with.
The judge just said, if you give us any problems with it.
I'm not giving y'all a problem. I'm trying to.
So you have to. All right, put you in handcuffs and
Well, I'm waiting on this, Your Honor, to explain.
All right, Missy. We'll
But
be-
that's it,
That's our last case on the docket, isn't it?
This is not good.
Yes. it is.
All right. All right. Ms. Gillette, I'll see you at 3:30 docket.
Your Honor, can I please go home? Your Honor, can I please go home? I'll leave.
All right, well,
Can I go home?
I left it up to them, and I left it up to you, and then they were to behave accordingly.
No, because he's got a hold on. As soon as he's transported here, he'll be on the first
Okay. All right, so Missy says we've got a hold on Mr. Swift, and they will transport him here, and then we'll get him and go from
They
there.
thought he was going to be here today, but they didn't get him here.
Okay, very good. So we've got an active hold. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, and that brings us to Mr. Johnson.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. We are on the record in 2024 TR 541, State of Kansas versus Danny Lewis Johnson. County Attorney Jill Gillette for the state, Mr. Johnson appearing in person and in custody and pro se. Now, Mr. Johnson, I just saw you, I believe, last week, and I order that you be held for a limited time for contempt of court. And then I understand the military put a hold on you. They were having some problems with you cooperating with picture and prints. Are we past that? Did you get your picture and prints taken?
I did not, ma'am,
Why did you not do that?
because I didn't feel like it was, I was here for a criminal offense and there was no jurisdiction for me to get fingerprints and photo, ma'am.
All right, we understand that you need to do that. You're probably not gonna get released until you do that.
Okay.
But in any event, you're also here today on a new case. And this is 2024 TR 541. You're charged in count 1 with operating a vehicle while displaying an expired or improper license plate on August 13th of 2024. So apparently before you went into custody, the officer saw you driving, and they may even have that on video if you did it around the courthouse. But in any event, that is a misdemeanor. It's called an unclassified misdemeanor. It carries a fine up to $2,500. It carries a sentence of 30 days up to 6 months. Then in count 2, they're saying that you hadn't registered the car. So you were driving without a legal registration. That also is an unclassified misdemeanor as charged. Another $2,500 possible fine and another possible 30 days to 6 months in jail. Now, Mr. Johnson, I can give you a bond on this, but it looks like you want to just keep sitting there because you can't make bond if you won't.
Your Honor, it is my intent. First of all, I'm not here to frustrate or to I'm not here to frustrate or to disrupt your court or to make anything. Just simply understand. That's all I want to understand. As far as the plea, as far as the charge of misdemeanor, I'm trying to understand if that's a criminal or civil offense, but I don't want to get into that today. So it is my regard to ask you, Your Honor, and request in regard to the 8th Amendment that Greenwood Court discharge or administrate a fair fine according to the historical data or registration violation in this county. That's all I ask for now. At this point, I don't want to get into whether it's criminal or whether it's whatever. But according to the 8th Amendment, I just want a fair fine, as if anybody who was driving the vehicle, given I was not driving my vehicle, of course, you held me in contempt. They brought me up and arrested me in contempt. So I don't know how they got me for operating a vehicle.
Well, they apparently saw you do it on your way into court.
Well, that's what I'm not. What I'm saying is it's a burden of proof on the state for that.
Right.
I'm not going to say they saw me. I don't know what they saw, but
right.
far as I can notice, when you held me in contempt, they went out and searched my car, which was a violation of my 4th Amendment right. They never issued me a search warrant. They never told me my vehicle was suspected in a crime investigation or any kind of criminal intent or doing anything. So my car was searched.
Okay.
So when they searched my car, I have multiple witnesses that saw it. When they searched my car, they pulled everything out of my car. And I guess when they didn't find that, then the violation come. I would never issue a citation for the violation. I was just put on lockdown for the last 7 days.
Well, I think as I understand it, you were put on lockdown because you wouldn't go through booking and processing. They couldn't get you entered into their system.
No,
you refused to get your fingerprints and you refused to get your photograph, and rather than manhandle you and wrestle you and get you to take your pictures and prints, they had to just put you somewhere safe until you would cooperate.
But that wasn't
what I've heard. I don't know that for a fact.
Well, if you look at the video, that is inaccurate. When I came in, I was told I was going to be.
Okay, sir. We'll talk about that just a little bit. Do you need an attorney to represent you on these charges?
I do not. I just want to, like I asked, I'm just requesting that in regards to the 8th Amendment, the Greenwood Court discharge.
Well, that is not going to be addressed today. Today, I need to know if you want an attorney. You're waiving your right to an attorney. You don't want to hire an attorney. You don't want to apply for court appointed?
So what are the fines, Your Honor?
Well, as I said, each one of these counts carries a maximum possible fine up to $2,500.
Okay.
And each one of them carries a possible jail sentence of 30 days to 6 months, although
Okay.
probation is often an option.
Well, I would rather for you to just issue me a fine today. If you issue me a fine, I'll pay the fine.
Well, I cannot guarantee you what your sentence will be. That would be inappropriate to try to give you to negotiate with you and give you a fine before or if you're convicted. Now, maybe if you waived your right to counsel, and you wanted to proceed today, I don't know if Ms. Gillette would tell you what her recommendations would be. I'm not bound as a judge to follow the recommendations, but again, typically I do, but I don't have to. Or you can get an attorney that can represent your rights and can help you file these motions or help you weigh your defense and decide how you want to proceed.
Well, all I'm asking, Your Honor, if you get pulled over and you get a
No,
speeding
we're not
ticket,
going to do that, sir. I just need
all
to.
I want to know is the fine. Like normally when you get a ticket or a citation, somebody give you.
I've told you that. I've told you that.
Okay.
So which way do you want to go on that? Do you want an attorney or not?
I do not.
Okay. Do you want to sign a written waiver of attorney?
No, I do not.
All right, but for the record, you do not want an attorney.
I do not.
And no one's making you give up your right to an attorney?
No.
And you understand that you could apply for court appointed if you cannot afford an attorney.
I do not want an attorney. I understand. I do
Okay.
not want an attorney.
All right, I will show on the record, both in the docket note and journal entries, that you do not want an attorney. You've given up any right to an attorney. You intend to represent yourself on these charges, is that right?
Possibly, yes.
And you were here last week on speeding 82 and a 65 and no insurance. Are you waiving your right to an attorney on those charges in 2024 TR 22 as well?
No, I'll answer that when I go to court on the 27th. I think you scheduled a court hearing for the 27th.
I did, and I am going to set this case today on the 27th at 9 a.m. as well. So both cases will be set September 27th, 2024 at 9 a.m. You've waived your right to attorney, at least on this case. I'd have to review the record to see if you did last week or not. But like you said, we can revisit that at your next court date. Ms. Gillette, in all of that confusion last week, did we set a bond in the other case? You can check those. If you don't have that handy, I can check the record.
Judge, he
Yeah,
had a warrant for failure to appear for $1,000 cash surety. So he actually had
I paid the $1,000.
Sir,
the cash of $1,000. It is a cash bond that the court is holding of $1,000.
all right. Okay. So that charge, you're free to go anytime you want to, as long as you go through the booking process. You've already, I would consider, even though the jail doesn't show you as being processed because you refuse to cooperate with the processing, which means fingerprints, pictures, signing a bond, I would consider you having satisfied your contempt. I think you've served enough time, far more than I intended for you to. It's been a week now, but you're going to have to go through the booking process. And then I don't know what the military's intention is, but I understand, is it your understanding they have a hold on you, sir?
They always put a hold on, anytime a soldier get picked up, they put a hold for pickup.
Okay. So, and I don't know if they'll go along with, I don't know if it's a game you're playing or what you're doing where you think that You won't have to respond if you won't be booked, but at some point.
Oh, I'll be here, Your Honor. I mean, even for the 13, I had to let my command know that I had a court hearing, and I showed up. I'm not a person that want to run from the law. I ain't got time to be running. I face whatever before me, and that's just who I am.
All right.
So I have no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
I have no intent of trying to hide from this challenge, because all it is a challenge. You know,
Sure.
I didn't see it going to this extent as being registration violation. If you're gonna give me a registration violation, give me a fine, then I pay the fine, and I'm okay with that. And I had to deal with that from a different aspect. But at the same time, it's just like they gave me a fine for speeding. You gave me a fine to pay, I was gonna pay the fine and just let it be. But at the same time, it's like, okay, now I got a registration with violation. Give me the fine. Give me the fine. I pay the fine. The military picked me up. I deal with that. They don't tow my car. So I really need to get out of here, Detroit, because if I don't get out of here, they're gonna sell my car.
Well, you go and get your picture and prints taken, sign your new bond, and you can go on my counts, on my charges. Now, I don't know, you know, you're still gonna have to deal with.
Well, I know if you release me, the military are gonna pick me up. I understand that.
And are you not wanting to be picked up? Is that why you're refusing?
No. That's the only way I'm gonna get out of here.
All right.
No, I'm not running from nobody.
All right, then you get in there and let that officer get your picture and prints taken. I'm gonna order that you do that, and if you don't, then we're gonna have to do more.
I ain't got no, if you saying I could leave, fingerprint, and that's what I asked them last week. Would I be able to leave if I give y'all fingerprints and photos? They told me no.
Because you've got that military hold.
And I was fine with that, but I was asking about that, Your Honor. I'm not trying to drag this along, but I asked them about that. Is the military going to be allowed to come pick me up? And they told me, no, I won't be able to leave until I come before you. So
you do need to take care of your charges here before you go. That's
okay.
True. All right.
I will allow them to fingerprint me and take a photo. And if you saying I could be released.
On both cases. Well, you've served your contempt, and that's what I sent you into jail for. Now I'll give you a bond, and you're going to have to post the bond in the new case. Ms. Gillette, any recommendations on that bond? 2 counts of registration.
Judge, they're both unclassified misdemeanors. He's also got some other potential charges for the disruption in court that I am reviewing. And that's the other issue that I've got.
Okay, so there may be another issue, Mr. Johnson, but I'm going to set it at a $500 bond. You can either post cash or work with a bondsman.
I got cash. If I could put it on my card, I got cash.
All right. I don't know what the rules and procedures are, but $500 cash bond, it's 2 counts of registration. I think that's appropriate. And then if you make those 2 bonds and there aren't any other charges against you through Greenwood County, then I will see you in court on the 27th.
Well, man, how would what I don't want to happen is I go out here and post, and then all of a sudden there's another charge. Then I'm stuck here for another 7 days to see you. So I just want to give y'all what y'all need so I can get out of here and have my day in court. That's all I want.
Well, I think an attorney could help you immensely accomplish your goals, but you don't want an attorney to help you, so.
No.
All right. Well,
I just, like I said, I'm okay with doing the fingerprints, doing the photos, paying the $500 bond, and being released to the military.
Okay.
And I guess at that point, I'll see you again on the 27th.
All right. Yeah, I just don't want the military to take you away from me, though, and not let me get you back for a while. That wouldn't be any good, but that's what I told you.
They're not going to do that.
That's what I told you to, and that's what I'm sticking to. But now I can't tell you, if Ms. Gillette has a job to do, and if she has other violations and she charges them, I can't help that. I'll have to call you back in on new charges. But that's what I'm telling you right now concerning the 2 cases I've seen you on.
Okay.
All right, anything further, Miss Gillette?
Right now.
All right, anything further, Mr. Johnson?
No, just want to get out of here and go handle my other affairs that I got.
Understood. All right, thank you, sir. We're in recess as you are being remanded back to the custody of the sheriff. Thank you so much.
Your Honor, what was that first case number besides the 541?
2024 TR 22.
22. Okay, and he's free to go on that one because he paid his bond, right?
He bonded, as I understand it, yes, he bonded on that one. The only reason he was in jail was contempt of court, and he satisfied his contempt of court, so he's free to go on that one, yes.
Okay,
His bond is still active.
all right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. For a Johnson, do I have a Johnson?
Yes, you do. I am here.
Danny?
Can you hear me?
Yes, but you're not the Johnson I was looking for, but I will take your case up. I have a couple. I have a Danny Johnson, and well, I don't I have her on here? Oh, she's Stasha Carter. Do you go by Johnson also?
Okay, so I'm here for Danny Johnson.
Oh, are you the attorney?
I'm a representative for him.
What does that
And
mean?
that means I'm his wife, and we sent
Okay, are you an
documentation.
attorney?
I'm an attorney, in fact.
You're not an attorney at law?
No.
Okay. So when you
So
say
so
you're an
Mr.
attorney, in
Johnson,
fact, you're not an attorney, but you're here on his behalf as a citizen. Is that
no,
right?
I'm not a citizen. I'm not a citizen.
Or-
But let me state for the record, Mr. Johnson is under doctor's care. He's in recovery. We sent the documentation over to the courts to show that, to show proof of that. We also reserve our rights to any and all reproduction of or distributing of videos on social media platform. And we request the matter to be rescheduled at a later time when he can get through his recovery period.
All right, Mr. Johnson failed to appear at his first appearance, February 27, 2024. August 13th, 2024, he appeared. We took formal first appearance. He entered a not guilty plea. Actually, he objected, I think, to just about everything that we did. He was argumentative, disrespectful, interfered with court proceedings. I believe he
I
was
object, Your Honor. I think he was
stop,
just
stop.
he was.
You don't have any standing here today, Miss Carter, because you're not his lawyer. You're not him.
I'm not Miss Carter. I'm not Miss Carter.
Then why does your screen say Sasha Carter?
That's what it says, but I'm not Miss Carter, and it says
Who are
Sasha.
you? Who are you? Before I disconnect you from these proceedings, because you don't have standing to be here. What's your name?
Well, again, Mr. Johnson is under Dr.
Do you want to
Mr.
tell me
Johnson is
your
here.
name?
He's here. I've already gave you my name, ma'am. I'm his
Well, then
wife.
say it
I'm
again,
Miss
because I
Johnson.
must have missed it. What's your
Miss
name?
Johnson. Miss Johnson.
What's your first name?
Nicole.
How do you spell that, please?
Nicole.
Nicole Johnson, and you said you're his wife. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. That's
You're
correct.
his legal wife. Okay. Now, if you'll let me continue, and if you won't, then we'll have to remove you from the proceedings. On August 13th, 2024, he became, as I said, argumentative, disrespectful, and interfered with the court proceedings. I found him in contempt. He was arrested and he was to serve 24 hours in jail. And then, as I recall, the military put a hold on him, and because of whatever reasons, he served more than 24 hours. But he was told to be back here September 27. And on September 27th, there was an issue that he either was or was not receiving medical service. And he wanted a continuance, and we ultimately continued it to today. Now, that's been a month ago. And you say he's still under doctor's care and can't be here today, or is that, what were you trying to explain there?
What I was expressing, ma'am, is that he was in surgery on the day of the court date. He had
30 days
actual
ago, he
surgery.
was in surgery. Okay.
Correct. The doctor put him under doctor's orders to stay on bed rest. And that's where he's currently residing at, on bed rest. And we sent in the documentation to the courts and the doctor. The doctor notified the courts that he's not to appear because he can't travel and he can't fly due to his surgery.
And we've made it clear to him that he can appear by Zoom. So I'm
Well,
going
ma'am,
to issue a bench warrant, bond
hold on one
forfeiture.
second. Hold on one second, ma'am, because he is here. He can hear you, but
Well, then put him on here.
Oh, he's on here, but he's in a recovery bed, ma'am, and it's a violation of his rights, his HIPAA rights, to be shown and be broadcasted all across social media as far as
Bench warrant, bond forfeiture, no bond, hold.
Ms. Webster.
Oh, now do you want to be on here, sir?
Well, I'm
you
first of all,
under duress.
Are you
Under duress.
voluntarily appearing, Mr. Johnson?
No, under duress.
I'm not.
Okay, I'm not duressing you at all. You don't have to be here.
Can I speak, please? I just want to let you know I'm on a series of medication that alter my. I'm on a like medication that I'm supposed to be on bed rest from my procedures for the next 8 weeks and for the following 8 weeks, and then I'm supposed to start my recovery. But I have reached out to the courts. I have had the hospital reach out to the courts in reference to my procedure and my process. I have requested a continuation. I have also sent in letters to request evidence from the case to continue the case prior to these procedures that I have not got a response back. So
Certified mail.
I sent it out registered mail that the courts received, I think on the 23rd, in requesting evidence of the case to continue prior to my surgery, but having the surgeon
It's an unforeseen circumstance.
Ma'am, I want you out of the case now. You're not his lawyer. He's talking, he's representing
Ma'am,
himself.
The creator
out.
made me his wife, and
I will find you in contempt of court.
Ma'am,
Stop talking, Miss
I just-
Johnson.
Okay.
Now,
So-
both of you stop for just a moment. Miss Gillette, you haven't had a chance to say anything on this. Do you wish to be heard?
because you're acting like the attorney.
I'm acting like the court and you owe me $50, ma'am, for contempt. And if you have another outburst, it's going to go up. And it will be enforced. $50 direct contempt by Nicole Johnson for her interruption of the proceedings. Ms. Gillette, do you wish to be heard?
Good luck with that.
Ms. Gillette?
Sorry, I was making notes, Your Honor. In this matter, there have been lots of issues with Mr. Johnson. There is a letter here. I don't know if it came directly to my office or through the court. It's through the court because it was filed in the court file of
All right, so when you
his.
say through the court, you mean it went to the clerk?
It went to the clerk
Okay.
and was file stamped. There
And it
is
may or may not have made its way to my office, but if it has, I haven't seen it for the
Right.
record. Go ahead, please.
there is a note from seen September 25th, 24. His other hearing would have been the 27th. Asking he be excused. We've had lots of issues with Mr. Johnson in the past. I am taking into consideration that he has provided a doctor's note and information about
Okay.
that
But
visit.
that was the last hearing. What do you have, if anything, for today from the doctor?
That was received. It was file stamped 9/27. I don't know if he's recovering or not. I can't tell you anything about that. So if he is on medication, Judge, I don't want to have anything substantive unless he's not taking pain meds. So I would move it over to November, for him to be here, present, and, he needs to understand that attorneys can speak for individuals, but not family members unless there's some
Do you not
sort of.
be, you won't be released in November, ma'am.
Ma'am. Ms.
So-
$100 fine or for contempt against Ms. Johnson.
Ms. you know,
Okay, now,
the
Mr.
court.
Carter, you may speak. Yes, sir. Now, if you're
Ma'am,
too,
do you even know who you talking to, ma'am? Cause you calling all these names. Which name, who are you speaking to?
you told me your name was Nicole Johnson. I'm speaking.
Correct. So
to you.
you calling Carter, and I expressed to you that nobody's here is Carter.
Well, don't have to put Carter on your screen if you're not
Well,
Carter.
ma'am, we made the point to be here in court today, ma'am.
You
And that's under
stop
the
talking.
unforeseen circumstance. He's still
All
here.
right,
in
I'm
court.
gonna,
He's
I'm
not
going to
doing
end this
unlawful
talk.
acts
This
against
court is
him.
over. Bench warrant if you don't stop and get out of it. If you don't want this
Okay.
bench warrant, you be out of this conversation and
Ma'am.
let me communicate with the defendant.
Ma'am, there's
Obviously,
no
Mr. Carter
defendant.
doesn't have any
He hasn't been
control over
convicted
you.
of anything.
Okay, Mr. Carter, I'm gonna have to end this court because the woman won't shut up. And I'm gonna have to leave a bench warrant. If you can get her to shut up and stay out of the conversation, you and I, sir, can have a hearing. Now. Okay. How much time do you need this continued, Mr. Carter?
Okay.
The doctor can send over the information.
I would request.
Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry, Missy, can you get that
Hey,
Carter out of there?
hey, I'm trying to explain to you. The doctor told me it's going to be 3 to 6 months for my recovery.
3 to 6
So
months for your
I
recovery.
had a T10, T11 procedure. So it's a middle back procedure. Like I said, I haven't even started physical therapy yet.
Do
So
you have an attorney or would you be willing to take a court-appointed
I,
attorney?
as far as the attorney, all I would coming to do is because I'm on medication, I don't want the court hold anything against me that I may say due to the type of medication I'm on. And
I
two is the
understand.
fact that I am requesting a continuation. I know y'all saying I've been whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm requesting a continuation at least to December, late December or January.
All right, we're gonna set this over for trial. It'll be for bench trial. And what the doctor told you you'd be in recovery for how long?
I mean, 3 to 6 months for
Okay, so this
recovery.
is October, November, December, January. I will continue this. Missy, what do we have mid to late January?
January.
They're ethical.
Is that month that is really challenging?
Yeah, but we do have January 31st at 11 available.
All right, January 30th first will be your bench trial. Now, did I understand that someone did receive something from his doctor today or recently? Ms. Gillette, you were talking about something from a month ago.
What time?
Yes, it was filed September 27th. It said he had surgery.
Yeah,
And it was an
we
excuse for the
continued that
27th.
hearing based on that letter. We continued it to today. But has anybody seen anything more recently?
No,
I think the wife was reading something that said he couldn't travel, but I don't think it said anything about appearing by Zoom. I think it just said he couldn't travel or appear in that fashion. But that's what we need to make sure come January that the doctor understands this can all be done by Zoom. And again, Mr. Johnson, would you consider appointment of an attorney to represent you?
Not at this moment, Your Honor. Like I said, I'm on medication.
Well, an attorney could sure could sure help you navigate through this court system. I understand you wanted to represent yourself, but the attorney could sure help you.
I don't need an attorney at this moment.
All right, we'll document that for the record, Ms. Gillette, in the journal entry that he still does not want an attorney. That we are continuing this again at the defendant's request for medical reasons to January 31st, 11 a.m. Now that's going to be for bench trial, so keep that in mind. The state will have their witnesses ready, and if you have any witnesses, you'll need to have them ready. Hopefully, you won't be under medications January 31st or in any situation that's going to affect that, but I won't issue the bench warrant. Nicole Johnson does owe me $100, or she owes the court $100. I'm going to give her 10 days to pay that. If she doesn't pay it, then she's going to face more contempt. That payment needs to be paid, Ms. Johnson, to the clerk of the district court. And that is in Eureka, Kansas at 311 North Main. And make sure you put on there contempt for case number GW 2024 TR22. That's, and put on there that it's for payment for direct contempt of Nicole Johnson for continued, well, you won't have to put on there other than for contempt, but I do want the rest of it put in the journal entry, Ms. Gillette.
Well, if somebody tries to defend themselves as contempt or exercise their rights as contempt.
Ma'am, you don't have any rights in this hearing today.
I do. I'm not a citizen, ma'am.
I don't care what you consider yourself. You do not have any right to come into any court of law and start interrupting and delaying the procedures and absolutely deliberately and intentionally disobeying what the court instructs you.
Ma'am, I called the county attorney yesterday. I called the clerk yesterday.
I am going to tell you to stop talking one more time before I
know, because you don't want me to express my rights.
This is not your hearing. This is not about you. I really hate to have to send the sheriff to whatever state you're in.
You have not given no lawful consideration to this matter,
Mr. Johnson.
Under the doctor's care. He has provided all the documentation to show that he's under the doctor's care, ma'am, and you have not given no consideration to that.
You are so fortunate that you're not here in person, or you'd be locked up right now.
Yeah, I am fortunate.
And Mr. Johnson will be locked up if he is not here in person. Mr. Johnson is ordered to appear in person for bench trial January 31st, 11 a.m. Ms. Carter.
Yeah, because you want to retaliate against him, don't you?
Ms. Carter now owes $200 in fines, and I'm disconnecting this call so I don't have to send the Greenwood County Sheriff to whatever state she's in to get her picked up and locked up for contempt. This is adjourned.
Ma'am, every time somebody expresses their lawful rights to defend themselves, you hold them in contempt. Why is that? You are a judge. You are compelled to provide protection for we the people. You acting as an attorney, giving advice to people, bringing people down, and he's in a situation to where he's under doctor's orders. It's a shame that you still wanted him to present himself under the doctor's orders of bed rest and medication before the court.
Put the camera on yourself when you talk to me, Ms. Carter,
and you
or
can
Ms.
put it out
Johnson.
across social media, and you can talk down on them, and you can make money off of it because you go and you spread it, and then you get up all these views.
Put the camera on yourself if you want to tell me off, Ms. Johnson.
I can put the camera where I want to. That's my legal right, ma'am.
You are to appear. I will send the orders for you to appear personally because you're going to serve some time for this disrespect. Ms. Johnson.
It's disrespect with what you having him do on camera.
Disconnect her. This court hearing is adjourned.
Yeah, disconnect yourself because you're unlocked.
All right.